Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Matrix Success Network presentation. I'm Brian Dalmasso, the proud CEO and founder. And what we're going to show you here tonight is a little bit about the Matrix and why you were brought to this presentation. In the Matrix, we teach people how to think and act and operate like the world's wealthiest people. I was very, very blessed to have one of the best wealth mindset experts in the world mentor me for almost 10 years. And when we say we're wealth and business mindset experts, wealth is not money, although that is a piece of it. And we're going to talk a little bit about what mindset is here. But we basically offer mindset training programs and mastermind communities, everything from new entrepreneurs to billionaires. We work with people at all ends of the spectrum. We work with corporations. We work one-on-one. And there's a lineage, there's a history of the material that we're teaching. And none of this is my material. I've just been a really, really good student. And some of you may know Andrew Carnegie all the way there on the left, who was the world's first recorded billionaire. And he mentored a young Napoleon Hill, who was the author of Think and Grow Rich, one of the best success books, if not the best success book in all of history. That book's made more millionaires and billionaires, I think, than any other publication. And as you go along here, he mentored Earl Nightingale, and Earl Nightingale mentored Bob Proctor. So if any of you know Bob Proctor, he was my mentor up until he passed for a good part of 10 years. Just an amazing man. I would say it was like hanging out with Yoda. He was just so wise. And he trained me on how to teach these principles. And then you can see me there. So everything you're going to see here tonight is not my principles. I've just been a really, really good student. And when we talk about having a lot of different programs, everything from a $39 a month program called the Mindset Masters, No One Left Behind. We have escalation programs like Level Up when people are looking to break six figures for the first time. We have Thinking in the Results, which is a 6-month deep dive into mindset and really understanding how to change paradigms. And then we have a couple of follow-on mastermind groups, depending on what people are looking to do. We have the Inner Circle and we have the Elite 100. So we offer a wide array of mindset training programs, and also we offer some masterminds. But let's get into why we're different. There's a formula for success. We're talking about the science of getting rich, the science of wealth building. We're talking about understanding a little bit of quantum mechanics and quantum physics, but we're basically taking a Harvard level subject and breaking it down to like a 5th grade level so that the masses can digest it. That's exactly what happened for me. When I was going along all the way into my early 40s, I had ups and downs. I had made money, lost money, I'd been married, I'd been divorced. And it wasn't until I met Bob Proctor and I started to understand these principles. And he really handed me a roadmap called Thinking in the Results, which again, it was a 6-month deep dive. And it allowed me to scale my construction company from $1 million to almost 10 million in 12 months. It's just absolutely amazing. But 99% of the world has never been taught this stuff. I was one of them. I was going along, rowing the same boat of ignorance for a good part of 4 decades. And if I didn't stumble across Bob, I really don't know I'd probably just still be in construction, I guess. And there's nothing wrong with construction, but thank God I met a mentor and followed a proven system. And like I said, it's not my opinion. The world right now is in total chaos when we look around. There's global ignorance, there's societal and generational ignorance, and it's a big problem with education out there. So the Matrix Success International is doing something about that. We have a lot of education platforms to get people unstuck and get them moving the needle. And 93% of people get to retirement age, even in North America, and have to work second jobs. So when I tell you that it's not my opinion, we can just look around at the evidence of what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with working a job when you're older, unless it's for money, right? It's if you've worked 40 or 50 years and you haven't cracked the code on retirement, it just says that there's a massive global problem going on. A lot of human beings right now, they're doing things they don't love for a living. They're spending 40, 50, 60 hours a week doing something that they don't enjoy, right? And when you think about this, a thinking person would not spend 40 years doing something they don't love, but it's not their fault, it's their level of programming. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into this. And I pull up a lot of statistics because these are shocking, right? 96% of the world's wealth is earned by less than 1% of the population. Think about that. 96% of the world is really controlled by a fraction of 1%. And it's because we're not teaching these principles in school, right? Our education system, we are simply not taught how to build wealth. We're not taught anything about decision-making. We're not taught anything about understanding self-image and building an image of a successful person. And again, success does not mean money. It's just a part of it. We're not taught anything about wealth building. and we're not taught anything about paradigms. If you guys think back to your early days in school, we're taught a little bit of math, a little bit of science, a little history, a little English. We're taught how to memorize. We're not taught the reasoning factor. We're not taught how to think, like the Wright brothers when they discovered flight, right? Well, they didn't really discover anything, they became aware of it. So we're going to get a little bit into what a paradigm is. This is really the crux of what makes the Matrix Success International different than really any other company out there. And a paradigm is really a set of mental programs that have almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. I'm going to slow this down and say it a little differently. When we're born, we're really born a blank slate, right? Brand new baby doesn't have any mental programs. It can't walk, it can't speak. And we're taught by our mentors to walk and speak and things of that nature. So picture this, because we get into school and we're taught by really an ignorant school system. We're not taught any of these wealth building principles. I always give an example that if Warren Buffett was, your father or my father when I grew up, like we'd be a multi-billionaire, right? We'd have the language of billionaire. We didn't think anything about that. So really the challenge here is we're not teaching any of this stuff in school. And that's why Bob committed his life to these studies and trainings, and I've done the same thing. So when we're born blank, and we develop all these mental programs from mentors and from school and from other ignorant people over time. So if you think about it this way, your mindset is actually a set of mental programs from birth that have been given to you by other people. It's kind of like a computer, like an operating system, right? You're born blank, and then you install Microsoft Office or you install Windows or whatever it is. Human beings are the same as that. We're born blank, and then we learn these programs over time. So unfortunately, if you're like me, I never learned wealth building programs. I wasn't around entrepreneurs. I wasn't around people that were into real estate, or the internet wasn't even invented. So a lot of revenue streams didn't exist, but I was in that job mentality. So I was not around people that really knew how to build wealth. And when you think about these mental programs, I think this is a really good example. Right? Smoking it's not a physical habit. It is a mental program expressed physically. And it's the same with wealth building, right? Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between smoking and wealth building. Consciously, we know the difference, but I want you to really think about this, because in the Matrix, really what we're doing for the first time is we're teaching wealth building programs, how to reprogram the subconscious mind, how to build new mental programs for your health, your wealth, your love, fitness, any and all things. So mindset, and you can take a screenshot of this if you want. I promise you, if you had a party this week and you ask somebody, what is mindset? They won't be able to answer this. They'll talk about, well, it's the way I think. Well, the way you think is called the reasoning factor. It's not your mindset at all. Well, it's how I see the world. Well, that's not your mindset either. That's called perspective. That's your viewpoint of the world. So I challenge you guys to ask even your friends and family, what is mindset? I couldn't answer this either. When I was 42 years old, I'd been to superior schooling. But mindset is all the mental programs stored in your subconscious mind, controlling all of your results. When people work with us in the Matrix, what they're really saying is, I want to rewire my thinking towards wealth building, whether it's business, health, relationships, or all the above. So then we got to kind of look at, now we know what mindset is. What is wealth? Right? I have these images here that some people might think is wealth, but this is just nice things, right? These are just nice things. Wealth in the Matrix is being able to do what you want, with who you want, when you want, and where you want. I want you to really think about it. This is what we also call freedom, isn't it? People say, I want financial freedom. Well, is that really what you want? What about your health? What about your relationships, your family, your legacy, your impact, your philanthropy? So doing what you want, with who you want, when you want, and where you want. Almost nobody in the planet is doing this right now. Right? You can go through all college, you can have a career for 40, 50 years and still never get to the point where you're just doing what you want, with who you want, when you want, and where you want. So if this is resonating, you can get with the person who brought you, and they can talk to you about some of our different programs. Because in the Matrix, we teach people how to think and act and operate like the world's wealthiest people. So now we know what mindset is, we know what wealth is, and there's no good or bad or right or wrong here. It's only if you're looking to improve different areas of your life that we call the wheel of life here. So you guys will see as you get to know me, I'd love to use pictures to cause thinking. This is how we look at wealth, right? It's your physical environment, where you live, what state you're in, the house you're in, right? Your business and career. Are you in love with what you're doing? Are you in love with your career? Would you do it if you weren't getting paid is a good question, right? And then finances should be separate from business, because we can make money doing a whole bunch of different things. And we might have a business or a career in charity, right? Your health, your body, your family and friends, your romantic life, your personal growth journey, fun and recreation. A lot of times we get out of balance on this stuff. Spirituality, your connection with God. It's the most important thing, in my opinion, is to connect with God and to share God's will and God's energy, right? Philanthropy, are you giving back? Not just money, but mentorship. Could be time, it could be helping people out. So this is how we look at wealth and building this wheel of life. And it's kind of like taking an x-ray, right? It's kind of like taking an x-ray. We have this protocol. If you go to the Matrix Success International, and you can take this wheel of life challenge for free. It's a wheel of life assessment, because most people are trying to drive down the road and this is what their wheel looks like. Try driving down the road on this thing, right? Their business, they hate their job, their finances are in the toilet. They might have a healthy body somewhat, and they go to the gym, and good family life, but their romantic life, I mean, this was me a bunch of times, right? So I'm not claiming to be anything other than a really good student and somebody who met a mentor who had a 63-year proven system. And he literally just showed me the way. So most people, unfortunately, are looking like this, and we wonder why the world has a lot of chaos going on. So I want to ask you a question. How would you like to move towards looking like this? If the answer is yes, just get with the person who brought you. They can show you how to connect to some of our different programs. We can get on a call with myself or one of our success advisors. And one of the things I invite you guys to do is to go to the matrixsuccessinternational.com and take this lifestyle audit. It's free for you to do this. It's really gamified, and as you're answering the questions, it builds out a wheel of life. You can get a really, really good view of what your life looks like and a little bit of a snapshot. Because it's hard to know where to go if you don't know where you're at, right? If you don't take that x-ray. So I encourage you to do that and check us out. It's a free lifestyle assessment. It's super, super fun. So again, there's a formula for success. That's what we do here at the Matrix Success International. We have multiple programs that have multiple people, whether you're a brand new entrepreneur or $100 million CEO, doesn't really matter. We work with corporations, we work one-on-one. We have a lot of different ways to help where people are at. So this is just a quick overview of where we're at. I'd like to bring on a dear friend of mine from a long time ago, one of the people that actually helped me on my journey and still helping me, who's been in the Matrix, been through a lot of our programs. Mr. Matt Payne, are you on, brother?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Good to see you, man. I just wanted to maybe have you share a little bit about your experience, because you've been through a lot of our programs. You've been with us for a while, and people probably want to hear from somebody other than me.
Oh man, I appreciate you, and I'm grateful that that you decided to take that journey. And for anybody here, I knew Brian before he got involved with his personal development and the journey, and then starting the Matrix. And you know, it's one of those things where when you see someone changing that fast, that drastically, he always says, I was a good student. I was a good student. He was one of the best students. Okay, that's for sure. And when you see someone's life changing daily, weekly, monthly, drastically, you sit there and say, well, I think he might be onto something. I should probably jump on and save myself too, right? So that's kind of what I did. And I got coaching from somebody, from Brian, and from the TIR, Thinking into Results. I took a couple programs, and I didn't just take them once. I had to take them 3 times because I'm hard-headed sometimes. And the old me, I look back and I sit there and I say, you know, I didn't even set goals. Like how many people sit there and write on goal cards, right? So I have a number of cards here that Brian made me write down my goals, okay, and stick them in my pocket. And one of the goals that I wrote down was, I'm so happy and grateful now that I own my company all by myself with no business partner anymore. And for anybody that knows me, I had a partner for 17 years, and I love him. He was the salt of the earth. He was a great guy. But long story short, I don't have a partner anymore. I own my company outright by myself, just me and my wife. And life is amazing, you know. But I knew I was going to say a little something on here tonight, and I wanted to ask my wife. I asked my wife, I said, Susan, I said, what is the biggest thing that you would say that's changed in my life, okay, since I started taking courses and getting in, you know, reading and personal development and getting involved with the Matrix? And she says, you don't flip out anymore.
Mm.
And that kind of stung for a second because I said, what do you mean? I had to say, elaborate, because I don't remember that part of me. It's gone. Like, that is not me. I don't flip out. I don't take things personal. It kind of is what it is. And she said, you're just a lot calmer and you can deal with anything that comes your way. And we've been through some tough stuff. You know what I mean? I'm definitely a lot more spiritual now. I put God first in my life, family right there with it, and then business second. But we're not in control of everything. And so what I would have to say is, when we can control ourselves, we can only control ourselves, right? So it's like the most important thing. I don't punch a wall anymore when I get upset or anything like that. I got employees and this and that and lose money or what. It doesn't matter, right? Because there's no shortage of money in this world. And I was taught that through this program, right? And Brian talks a lot about wealth. It's not, we all need money. That's of course, right? So we need money. But that's just a byproduct, right? Money's a byproduct of things that we do in our life, and there's no shortage of it. So get the money out of your head, start living life a little nice, better. I love life. I love waking up. I wake up early now on my terms, right? I don't have an alarm clock. I wake up when I wake up. I've learned so many things and I continue to learn, right? And every single time you learn something new, you're different. You change, right? You're not the same person. Your awareness, it's all about awareness, and it keeps changing and changing and changing. And if you're, the biggest saying, and I'm shocked Brian didn't say it, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I really believe that. It's like there's only one, a battery left untendered is going to decharge, right? So it's always got to be filling ourselves up with something, reading a book, positive things, this and that. In this academy, in the Matrix Academy, it teaches you all these things, the fundamentals to be able to take it to the next step. We all got to start walking somewhere, crawling first, right? And this company allows us to do that by jumping in at the very low stages and easy to understand content, and then it will morph into anything you want. Some of the I can't tell you, 48 books later, more than that now. I've read more books under the Matrix, because of the Matrix, referring and this and that. I've never read, my first book was Think and Grow Rich. I never read a book before in high school. Never. This is where I get my education, my higher understanding. So a big thank you to the Matrix, Brian, you, the whole family, everybody that's supports you over there. I love it.
No, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. And like I said, you and I go way back, and we've seen, like you said, you've been through some hard times. It's not that you're not going to go through times, guys and girls. It's how we handle them and our perspective and how we're moving through life. So I want to thank everybody for coming. This is it's meant to be a quick overview. If anything here resonated with you, just get with the person who brought you. They can help you get connected to myself or one of my team and figure out, what, if any, of the programs that we offer can help you on your journey. So until next time, be well. God bless. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you, Brian.
Take care, everybody.